You're going to start in a low lunge. So take your back knee and place it on the ground behind you, and then place your hips, shove your hips kind of forward towards your front heel, really relaxing your weight down. If you want a little bit deeper stretch, try to make sure that that back knee is as far away from your front heel as you can get it to go, really stretching deep into the movement. And you're just going to hold here for 60 seconds. You can kind of move side to side, forward to back, and see how that feels. If that feels good, just make sure you're getting a good stretch. Now you're going to shift your weight back into a hamstring stretch. So your back needs to stay nice and flat. Press weight into your front heel. You'll feel that really start to trigger up the backside of your hamstring. You can stay high. You can even put your hands on blocks if you'd like to, or you can move yourself down a little bit lower. So if you want to put your hands on the floor, you can. If you want to lean even further over the top, you can. But really, this stretch should be in the hamstring and not really anywhere else. You may feel it a little bit in your low back, but it's going to be mostly hamstring. We're going to move into a crocodile stretch here. So you're going to take your foot, you're going to walk it out to the edge of your mat, and your hands are going to come to the inside of your foot. You can stay up on your hands, or you can work yourself down onto your forearms, whatever feels good. This stretch can be deepened by being on your forearms. If that is too intense, stay up on your hands. Don't rush this. Over the next few times you try this stretch, see if you can just kind of work down lower and lower into the stretch. Now you're going to stretch your quads. So you're going to roll up onto your knee, and you don't want to be on your kneecap here. You kind of want to be on the meaty part of just above your kneecap. But you're going to pull your heel towards your glute, and you're just going to stretch out your quad. If this is too intense, you can always do this standing, to where you're up off of your knee as well. So make sure your hips are still squared forward and your heel is pulled towards your glutes. So now we're just going to repeat the entire series on the other side. So you're in a low lunge, hands are on either side of your front foot. If you want it to be more intense, you can walk your back knee back a little bit further. You can be up like I am here, or you can have your hands on either side of your knee. Whatever works best for you, wherever you're feeling the best stretch. You're transitioning into your hamstring stretch. So remember, the important thing is to feel this in your hamstring. So press weight into your front heel, keep your back flat, make sure you're not hunching forward over that front leg. If you need to use blocks, use blocks. Whatever feels best for you, this should be felt in your hamstring. Work your foot out to the edge of the mat, and your hands are going to come to the inside of your foot. You can stay up on your hands, you can use blocks, or you can come down to your forearms, whatever feels best for you. Remember that the intensity of the stretch is 100% dependent upon how low your chest is toward the floor. So it's customizable to you. Moving slowly into the quad stretch, same thing here. Make sure you're on the meaty part of your knee that's just above your kneecap. Chest is upright, hips are squared forward, and you're feeling this through your quad. So now we're moving into a figure four. So you just cross your foot over the other leg. Your feet should be flexed, and you're going to press your chest forward towards your thigh. You should feel this in the glute. So if this is too intense, you can always walk your hands further back. You can move your hands further forward to adjust the intensity. You're going to repeat the same thing on the other side, just making sure both your feet are flexed. You're going to press that knee away from your shoulder, and you're going to push your chest towards your legs. So you're going to feel this in the outside part of your glute. Moving into child's pose, you're going to take your toes together, knees apart. You're going to sit your glutes back towards your heels, and then relax your chest down toward the floor, just kind of stretching out here for a little bit before we move into our seated squat. So as we set up for our seated squat, you're going to take your feet hip distance apart, turn those toes out slightly, make sure your heels are firmly planted on the ground, and you're going to use your triceps to kind of press out against your inner thigh, and then make sure your chest is upright here as well. So I like to kind of wiggle around here, side to side, front to back, just kind of feeling my hip flexors loosen up. So if you can't do this, feel free to put your back up against a wall, or maybe even roll up a towel and put it underneath your heels if your heels can't touch the ground. But this is a great exercise to do to loosen up your hips to get yourself ready for squats and all kinds of lower body activity. To finish off right here, we're just going to end with a forward fold. So you'll notice my back is very flat. Yours should be too. So you shouldn't be hunkered over. If you are, that means you should probably put your hands up on a block, or maybe have your hands on your hips and not come all the way down toward the floor. But you should feel this through your hamstring, maybe a little bit in your low back. But this is just a nice gentle stretch to end your mobility session with. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If it is, let me know. If you want more stretches, feel free to comment below or send me a message, and I will make sure I upload more for you guys.